Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Prince George's County Memorial Library System's virtual programs. We're 2/3 of the way to the Brady Bunch here today. It's pretty awesome. Back for a community conversation, our weekly 4 p.m. Thursday program where we connect the community with resources and experts and civic leaders and all around great people. Today we have a very special program, and I will turn it over to CEO Roberta Phillips, who will kick us off.
Hey, glad to be here today. And I want to thank all of these fabulous superstar young men staff members who are joining me today. They all do so much work for you all in the community. And we're going to talk about that and our strategic framework. And so before I start on that, I would love for all of my colleagues to introduce themselves. Tell me what branch or title you have and what you've been doing within the system. So we'll start with Nick.
Thanks, Roberta. My name is Nick. I'm the COO for Communication and Outreach, almost at my 1-year anniversary, which is kind of hard to believe. But so I get to work with the great folks in PR, marketing, programming, intercultural services, foundation, digital services, all over the place. And our job is to support the work of the library system and support our colleagues with anything that they might need in terms of promotion or resources or tech support, which is new in COVID, right? So glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve.
Hey, everybody. My name's Steve, and I work with Nick in Communication and Outreach, and I'm the Director for Dynamic Content and Engagement. So I'm in charge of everything from the website to social media to our overall digital strategy, promotions, our e-marketing campaigns, and things like that. So I try to work with as many people as I possibly can in the system so as to elevate everybody's voice so that we are all involved here in Prince George's County.
Thanks. Spencer.
Hello, everyone. My name is Spencer. I work in the IT department as an IT support technician. I've been with the system since 2014. I help everyone stay connected, pretty much. I help everyone take care of their technology needs. I handle technology in the branches, and that's pretty much it.
Well, that's not pretty much it. He's also the voice that you probably hear if you're on hold. And he's the one telling you about all of our programs. Thank you very much. Zach, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
I'm Zach Jones of the Largo Kettering Library Branch. I am a Library Associate 2. I've been with the system since 2011. And I'm currently one of the members of our great workforce and community development team. And I just pretty much trying to give everybody as much information and positivity as we can have right now. So,
thank you much. Yasin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yasin, and I work at the South Bowie branch. I'm a librarian associate 2, and I'm also part of the workforce development team. And I've been here for, it's going to be 6 years in January 25th. So far, so good.
Awesome. So one of the things that we want to talk to you about is all of the people on this call today have participated in our strategic framework plan. And the process was a lengthy process. But what happened through this process is we were able to conduct community and staff surveys. We interviewed customers, county officials, partners, leadership folks in the community. And this was all designed to help us gauge and to find out what the community needs from the library. How can we best suit the needs of the community in areas of workforce development, which you've heard, literacy and learning, equity and inclusion, healthy living, personal achievement, all of these things that we know you come to the library seeking. We wanted to make sure that our strategic framework really gave us the energy and the perspective that was the community perspective, not what the library thought you needed, but what you said you needed. So we, this team, along with approximately 25 other staff members, went through a very long workshop service design process where we looked at all of the data and all of the information you gave us, and we started to try to figure out what do we need to focus on for the next 4 years so that we can serve the community in the best way. Now, we know some of those needs have changed a bit since COVID and since we closed, but we're still rolling on what we think you need based on what you told us. So I'm going to start and ask any of the members of the team, thinking back, what were some of the highlights for you personally from the strategic planning process?
So for me, it was just really great. First of all, there was, I think, about 40 of us from different branches and offices involved. And it was just really interesting and eye-opening to hear everybody's different perspectives and to try to just come together and create a shared perspective and a shared vision going forward in the system. I mean, so many great ideas exist with people who are either raised here or who came from, other counties. But everybody kind of has the same goal in mind, and it's to, do the best that we can to help the community. So just really great ideas coming from, all 40 people involved about how we could best do that. So what we kind of put in place reflects everybody that we have in the system.
To piggyback off of Steve, yeah, just to hear all the different ideas. But one of the greatest things I felt about it was I've been here since 2011, and I've never been involved in that kind of process. So being able to be involved in that process is a great opportunity, and it actually helps us, change the landscape of what the library is going to do for the community. So I think that was one of the more important things that I really took away from it.
Yeah, just to piggyback off both of you guys, just the staff being involved was a highlight for me because, like Zach said, I've never been involved in anything like this. So hearing everybody's opinion and actually working together to, develop something was very exciting for me, and I was honored actually to be involved, to actually work with my colleagues as well and hear their opinions. And, it was fun. It was fun.
Great. Spencer, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, just in addition, I liked something I noticed and I liked was that the ideas we came up with kind of reflected what the community came back to us with. So to me, that says that we as employees have a pretty good finger on the pulse of what our community wants and what they would like to see. And we would like to see something similar. So that was an aspect of it that I personally enjoyed.
And just for context, I think we met roughly 12 or 15 times, either for half day or full day sessions. And they were, guided lessons and brainstorms and things like that, where we were able to honestly kind of lay it all out there and have disagreements and then, formulate our ideas based off of what we each believed. So it was really, really great, honest and open atmosphere for that.
Great. So what happened through this work is that we did come up with a new mission, vision, values. Some of the same folks on this call worked with our board members and fine-tuning those. And so, Zach, if you would read the new mission, vision, and values to our viewers, that would be awesome.
Okay. So our new vision is we provide a collaborative foundation with the community for all Prince Georgians to create the world they want to see. Our new mission is we build relationships that spark and support discovery by providing equal access to opportunities and experiences. And our core values are we are Prince George's proud and put community first by being welcoming, curious, accessible, kind, collaborative, and resilient.
Thank you, Zach. So, Nick, I'm going to toss to you. What's the difference between a mission and a vision?
So this is a really cool part about this work is that you kind of get to take stock of your heritage as a community, really take a moment to think about where we are now and what we're doing, and then we get to be really wild and bold and crazy and say, what is the point of all of this, right? So because I started in January, I came partway through this process, and it was really interesting to get to know the system while doing the finalizing steps of the framework. And what you see here is the mission, which is taking stock of where we are now. And then our vision statement is about everything that we're trying to achieve as a community, knowing that it is a pipe dream, but it's actually not a pipe dream. It is something that we achieve on a daily basis in interactions with young children watching our story times, or with connecting someone with a resource that helps them get a job, or with ensuring that the library is leading the community-wide conversation about the fact that Black Lives Matter, and that we as a community need to get behind that in order to protect the human rights of all people who live in Prince George's County. And you know, while it seems aspirational on the vision side, we want to create the world that we want to see. That's what, well, I mean, what else are we alive for, right? We have an important role to play in shaping the future so that we can continue to be proud of our community, while also recognizing that there's a lot of things that we can do to make it a better place for all of us to live in.
Absolutely. And for us as an organization, we really want to live these values. These values are how we treat our colleagues, everyone who walks through our doors, our partners, our vendors, anybody we come in contact with. And, you know, we thought really long and hard about these values and about what made them so significant. So we hope that when you interact with us, whether it's online or in person again someday, or through any of our venues, that you do feel that we exhibit and live these values, because they're very important to us. Spencer, what are some of your thoughts about how we embody this new mission, vision, and values in our work?
So, this year has not been a typical year. I'm not sure if anyone has forgotten that or needed a reminder. But our typical library work has changed this past year, just based on circumstances. And that is a very fine example of our resilience. I know the word is getting to a point of being overused, but pivot. We've pivoted to provide to what our community has asked us for. We see that people would love the opportunity to browse books, but can't come in. So we've been offering book bundles and things like that that give you a similar experience. We're working on upgrading our catalog, our turnstile page, so that will reflect books that are in higher demand, or books that people may be wanting to read now. We're just doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and up front on the main stage, to provide for the changing of times.
Absolutely. Yasin, how do you think that our mission, our vision, and our values reflect our current priorities in the community?
I think basically is reflecting it right now as we speak, actually. The mission for us, as you know, we're still closed to the public, as far as, you know, customers still coming and not able to come in, anything like that. But we're still working, building partnership and relationship with other organizations to expand our services for customers. You know, like Nick said, by doing virtual programming, or you know, story time, a lot of virtual programming, curbside services, and also call centers. So just being welcoming still to our customers. And, you know, like Spencer said, 2020 has not been so, you know, pleasant, but we still have to be kind. And we've been showing that to our customers. So, and we've been resilient as well.
Absolutely. And And I think the kindness is showing up. I'm the very proud boss of all of you and our entire staff who receive compliments about our staff and the kindness that you show every time you interact, whether it's somebody calling our call center for information or asking about resources or engaging with us during curbside. I mean, it's really important. And I think, the isolation has affected a lot of folks. So they rely on the library even more so. And Steve, obviously, technology has played a huge role in supporting our mission, our vision, and our values and all the work we're doing. Can you talk a little bit about why that's so significant now more than ever?
Right, absolutely. We just have to be able to change constantly. The evolutionary process of the library has kind of gone through a huge shift in the past year, and we have to continue that. We're never at a point where we can be comfortable. We're always at a point where we want to, seek feedback. We want to learn how we can get better, what resources we can add, how we can decrease the digital divide. How can we reach customers who aren't online? So we're actively looking for ways we can do that too. And if that means adding programs into our call-in hotline number, then that's one of the avenues that we're planning. But we're always looking at adding new resources. Recently, since the pandemic, we re-added Linda from LinkedIn, and we now have Ancestry Library Edition available for folks at home. Somebody mentioned curbside earlier, so we're always looking to add new things into our curbside pickup. So we've recently implemented book bundles. So a lot of parents, you just need books. Don't know exactly what you need, but drop us a line on the curbside bookings page. Say you need a book bundle about a specific topic. Our expert librarians will do what they do best, and they'll recommend and they'll grab great literature and nonfiction for you and your kids and take the thinking out of it for you. So we're always trying to figure out how we can use our expertises to help our community, how we can help each other, the best that we can. So for, an online library as we are right now, we're not satisfied. We're always looking to improve. So let us know how we can improve, and we would love to hear those so that, we can honestly have the best information available for you.
Yeah, Steve, you bring up a really good point. Part of this whole strategic framework is about community involvement, and we want to continue to get feedback. The whole first year of our strategic framework is about listening and learning. Listening to what the customers want, learning about their needs, and then figuring out how does the library respond to address those needs. And again, that doesn't mean we can do everything on our own, which is why we have such great and rich partnerships throughout the community and the county. So I think that listening and learning is super, super important. Nick, if you would, could you tell our audience about our new focus areas?
Sure, and I'm going to do a little screen share so we can make it a visual tour.
Sure.
And I'll give an overview of all handful of them first, and then we can dive into them individually. So we have 5 focus areas. They are inclusion, literacy and learning, personal achievement, creativity, and healthy living. And one of the things that's really cool about these focus areas is that they definitely directly reflect what we've always been doing as a library, but they also point us towards the things that we're most focused on going forward as we consider the growth and evolution. The other important thing to know about these focus areas is that they align directly with the county government's proud priorities, of which there are 6, that involve youth development, economic development, and such. And they also connect directly to the Prince George's County Forward Task Force, which is addressing the recovery from COVID, which is, basically taking the proud priorities and then applying them to this moment that we're in now. So I think what we're hoping to do now is spend a few minutes on each of these focus areas and tell you about some of the past and ongoing initiatives, and then also highlight some of the hopes and dreams for the future with these. Does anyone want to jump in on inclusion to chat about some of the work we've been doing?
Sure, I'll jump in. So can you go back so I can read the definition? Thank you. So inclusion, we strengthen neighborhoods by embracing culture, inclusion, and social justice. And this is really near and dear to our hearts. It's about how we educate the community so that we can have really honest conversations about anti-racism and belonging and equity. We want to be the library that strives to be the model of anti-racism in all of our services that we provide and the offerings that we have. And that equity comes from a place of just rooted in human rights. And that we know we live in a majority minority county, and that these are our neighbors, these are our friends, these are our colleagues. So yes, Black Lives Matter, period. And this work is something that is going to take a while. It's long work, but we're trying best to figure out internally how we have an organization that's equitable, diverse, anti-racist, and then how do we help the public embrace these tenets and start to learn from each other and really celebrating our differences, but also celebrating our similarities. And so that's the inclusion part. You know, we all belong to Prince George's County, and how do we do this in a way that, again, Nick is showing our Heritage Hub that celebrates the rich diversity we have within this community. So this is one of our 5 focus areas that's very near and dear to me personally.
Yep, and we've had kind of a long run developing our Heritage Hub, but the whole idea behind it was that we wanted to celebrate, diversity year round and not just wait for 1 month to do it. Mm-hmm. So currently we have 6 pages within our Heritage Hub, so feel free to check out the link that we just posted. But it's just a start. So we would love, to evolve these pages into something that will be even more inclusive to more of our community members in the future. But it started, in 2019, going into 2020, and the future is bright. So again, we just want to, take everybody's input and figure out how we can best develop our services and our information for the benefit of everybody.
Awesome. The next focus area that we'll chat about is literacy and learning. And the description here is: we are strong partners in education and promote lifelong learning for all. And this is the meat and potatoes of library land, right? This is, the word library. It comes from biblioteca, right? In the Latin root of it. And books are at the heart of this. Learning and books is part of everything that we're doing, whether we're talking about someone getting access to a resource for helping them on their resume. There are tools that come with that. Someone has a new kid and wants to enroll in our Books from Birth program so that you can build a free home library for your child up until their 5th birthday, and building a library of over 60 books to keep. That's part of this too. And, everything from teen book discussion groups to author events to poetry readings and such. Literacy and learning is super fundamental to everything that we do, and is at the center of all of these focus areas. And it will always be the case. The library will always be the hub of access to books and resources and educational programs. And, at the end of the day, we're probably the only institution that exists that serves everyone from birth till they pass on at every stage of life. And the really special thing about libraries, I think, is that they are part of your evolution as a person individually and your own growth, but also your family growth. So like I did summer reading as a kid. It was like the best thing ever. And now I get to work on summer reading with the Nationals, and I'm a giant baseball nut. That's mind blowing. You can't even make that up. And that's awesome. And then when I have kids someday, that's something that I'm gonna be able to share with them. And then as I become a later adult in life, then I'm sure I'll be a pesky person asking for large print books. Anyone else have thoughts on literacy and learning and how this shows up in our work?
Yeah, Nick. I think literacy and learning is just like the the foundation of pretty much building everything else. And I feel like if we focus on that area and we help our community focus on that area, we're only improving on their personal growth. And these are all people who are stakeholders and are going to contribute back into the community. So I think literacy and learning is key.
And you mentioned a little bit of the partnerships that we've been developing. So Nick's been really instrumental since he's come on. We've been able to develop these partnerships with the Nationals, not only them, but the Wizards and others. So it's about bringing people who share the same vision into creating a system where we can help people succeed. And it starts with, the young children. So we've got our Books from Birth program in conjunction with the county, where we supply thousands and thousands of free books to kids who are under the age of 5. So if you're interested, if you have kids, if you have cousins, anybody who lives in the area, let them know about our Books from Birth program. It's great.
A couple of the future initiatives here that are worth mentioning. One is the expansion of our Dream Lab, which is our makerspace focused on media production and design and music and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So our foundation is taking the lead along with our branch teams to expand the footprint of that, and also the equipment and the programming that's offered, which is really, really awesome. So imagine like if you have a child and they want to learn music production, well, guess what? You can do that at the library for free rather than go pay for some fancy courses somewhere. And you don't even have to come into the Dream Lab. You can do it online with lynda.com. So like there's all these crazy things that you wouldn't realize are free and available at your fingertips through the library. The other thing, which I'll toss it over to Roberta, is this UNICEF Child Friendly Cities initiative, which is really special and plugs us into the global community.
Yeah, so we're starting the process of building a children's cabinet in the county. Our hope is that Prince George's County is a pilot in the United States. This program with UNICEF has been done in Canada, Finland, many other places, but never in the US. So there's several other cities who are working on this alongside us as a pilot. And what the goal is for this is that we want every child to have access and information and everything they need to grow up strong, healthy, well-educated, happy, and ready to be productive citizens. And all of that is around health and wellness and opportunity. And so this is going to be a big initiative that rolls out through the county, and the library is a proud part of it. Because we know that literacy starts as soon as your child is born, and maybe even before. That reading is truly the key to moving forward. But there's also other things that children need. They need to play. They need a safe place to play. They need to be happy. They need to make sure they have enough food. All of these things are part of this initiative. So we're really excited to get started on this fairly soon.
Awesome. While we're on this literacy and lifelong learning topic, for the esteemed gentleman on the panel, what are some cool ways that you use our resources in your own personal life, whether that's like reading the Washington Post now for free from home, or like, are there other things that you use in the collection just kind of in your outside life?
I get books from my daughter all the time, either ebooks or I order them and pick them up.
I enjoy checking out all of our documentaries that we have on Canopy.
Awesome.
I use Lynda all the time just to keep up with up-to-date programs and just updating different strategies of how to work from home, because they have a lot of different courses on working from home and how to manage it.
This gets into another one of our topics, but I use it for a lot of career development, Lynda.
Yeah.
Because I'm in IT, they have a lot of kind of courses that help you dip your toes into different subjects. So it's pretty good to explore.
Awesome. And I think
that's a perfect segue to our next focus area.
Yeah. Here we go. Next up. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. I'm sorry. personal achievement. We foster economic growth through career and business development. I bet Zach's going to be all over this one.
Yes, indeed. So by fostering economic growth through career and business development, like previously, like Spencer spoke about, this has not been a regular time. And unemployment is at an all-time high, and things like that have changed, and how people work and where they work and what they do. And us being able to provide services that, help people develop their personal skills and make them better prepared for the workforce or whatever they might choose to do. I've had several friends during this time period actually quit their jobs and actually start their own businesses. So that's another place where this type of work is very important, but it's also very beneficial to the entire community as a whole, because if somebody decided to start a business that provided a service that's important to everybody in the community, they solved the problem. And I think that's one of the things with what we're doing and helping people, build themselves is we're problem solvers, and we're developing them into problem solvers. So we're teaching people how to fish instead of fishing for them. So I think like things we do, Career Kickstart, which is a program that we actually just wrapped up this week. Me and my colleague Yasin right here, we have been putting this on for the last couple of years. It's been in person, but this is our first time doing it virtual. So we had a good turnout, and we feel like it was very successful, but we feel like this information would be paramount to anybody who had access to it. So that's one thing. Yasin, did you want to add anything else?
Yeah, just give a shout out to EPG for helping us out, for working with us. It was a very successful program. Like Zach said, even though it was our first time, and it was kind of trying to figure it out. All right, we virtual now, so it's a difference trying to get customers to log in. Everybody has, their differences as far as logging in online. So it was a great program. And just to highlight the workforce development and all these other teams, we actually have focus groups now that focus on each individual cause. So people that are passionate, staff members that are passionate about workforce development, inclusion. You have an inclusion team, you have a health team, you have a creativity team. So staff members are putting their heads together and actually focusing on what they're passionate about, while also helping staff members as regular librarians. So it's exciting.
Yeah, and one of the best parts about it overall is like we really want to push helping people sustain these things. So moving forward, sustainability is probably one of the more important keys coming out of this. So we want to make sure that people are through this career exploration or building their skills, that they're building something that they'll be able to take with them for a lifetime. So
absolutely. And the whole team approach is very important for our strategic framework. We want the staff to use their talents and gifts, because they are many, to really help the community members. And they're passionate about it, as you can tell from the conversation we're having. I also think, moving forward, we have plans to do a designated career center in one of our locations, and also a co-work center in one of our locations. We want startups and entrepreneurs and small business owners to have a place that has the connectivity and the equipment and the resources that you need, and also our staff expertise to help guide you. So those are things that are coming in the future, and we're pretty excited about those as well.
Awesome. One thing just to plug into this is a really cool pilot project that we've had with the Housing Authority for the county. And, here in personal achievement, you see workforce development, computers and technology, and also expanded internet access. And so much of our work is about making sure that the right tools and equipment and resources are reaching folks in a way that is accessible. So we know that there's a tremendous digital divide in the county. There's over 30% of the county does not have wired broadband internet at home, which is insane, and that's only based on the census counts, which we know there's always undercounting there locally. So with the Housing Authority, our awesome IT team led by Carla has placed some of our surplus equipment in a couple apartment complexes so that the library has literally come to folks in their home community. And not only is there now computer access and internet access as a result of that, but there are high school students who are getting certifications through Cisco, through a separate program, to actually do the maintenance of those computers and to learn from the experience and also the experienced professionals with the library. So there's ways that we're really getting creative around bringing the library to folks where they are, because it's not reasonable in this day and age to expect someone to be walking into a building, which is kind of crazy that we would ever say that, since librarians always, we love our Carnegie Library buildings for all the problems that they bring, but the library is really part of life, and it's with us everywhere. It's not about just a physical place, so that is a very important part of it. Okay, next up, we have creativity. So this is one of my favorites, being a music person in life. We champion creatives and value their unique contributions to the community. So if we just kind of think about what artists do, and this is probably the most extreme hardship period for artists in this country ever, even worse than the Depression. Artists, whether they're art teachers in schools, or whether they're painters, or whether they're musicians who are gigging, whether they are people who paint murals, people who do graphic design, all of these people form a huge part of our economy. And I believe there's a really significant number in the billions in terms of this region and how much money goes into the economy as a result of creatives and arts organizations and arts programs. So we have a very important role in supporting those folks, both from the point of educational programming for everyone from the little ones up through senior citizens, but also in creating opportunities for working artists to engage with their community. So that means hiring artists to do programs who are local artists. That means commissioning folks to do murals in our buildings and through our Art in Public Places program with the Arts and Humanities Council. That is having gallery spaces in our new Hyattsville branch library, which opens in 2021, which is going to be mind-blowing. Then, connecting those folks who can benefit from opportunities through the library with other partners. So, once we kind of strengthen our position in this area, we become the organization that refers our local artists out to other agencies. And we start to partner with a lot of different cool arts organizations. We've partnered recently with the Heritage Film Festival, and we had our first virtual film festival. Like, who knew? I didn't even know that was a thing that we could pull off, and we did it, and it was fabulous. And many, many other examples like that, whether it be poetry. We had Natasha Trethewey, who is a former U.S. Poet Laureate and Pulitzer winner, whose heartbreaking memoir is just out now. But creativity is really about supporting those creatives and making sure that creative forms are accessible to folks to discover. But then most importantly, like, creativity is something that applies to everyone. It is not just about taking an art class to become a professional artist. Number one, that's a dicey economic proposition. So you got to be careful when you do that. You got to do it intentionally and learn from folks who've been in the industry. But the creative skills that you gain from experiencing the arts, whether it's drama, poetry, spoken word, graphic design, music, whatever it is, you can carry that into any work, and it has a huge impact on the way that you approach things. And I would not be shocked if everyone on this call did something creatively, whether that's art or spoken word or anything else. And we even have staff talent shows, which is pretty fun now. But this is a big part of the role that the library has in making sure that folks realize that creative expression is a part of daily life, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're an economist, if you're doing taxes for people, there is still something creative in your body that you can express in order to either help with your work or maintain your wellness as well. It's a big part of keeping kind of an even keel and getting through some difficult times, especially right now.
Absolutely. And you asked about resources. I have become a creative bug lover and user. I just think that's a great forum for exploring the arts. And again, like you said, the arts are about human expression, and what a great thing that we need right now is being able to talk about how we're feeling and expressing that through the arts. So yeah, just some of our great resources, all free for the public.
One that I loved mentioning, which is just mind blowing to me, this Artist Works platform is literally on-demand music lessons for everything under the sun, which normally, like when I was taking music lessons, even in college, that's like 60 to 150 bucks an hour. And, you know, if you're thinking about music and arts as a profession, you're going to need to do some paid training, but this is a great place to start. Like if you are, you know, wanting to pick up the guitar, like don't spend money, learn from the library. And then if there's a point where you want to spend money on training, do that. But this is like carte blanche for discovery, and it's really, really amazing. And, you know, we could spend 3 hours on any one of these individual resources on how awesome they are. So we really hope that you all can discover them. And huge thanks to Steve's team for creating these suites for us, which are curated collections of these online resources where you can kind of get to things through a theme and then do a deeper dive on the resources later on. Okay.
Last but not least.
But not least, and segue from the wellness conversation. Healthy living. So we develop and promote skills and resources for healthy living. And I'm gonna mute myself to make sure that others talk about this one.
So in a similar fashion where Nick just showed you the creative suite, we've recently, in the past couple of weeks, developed a healthy living suite as well. So we have, you know, just a lot of different staff members in the system that curate different book lists and partnerships and things like that. And we've had guided meditation videos done by Will from Bowie Branch. He does such a great job. These air on Fridays at 4 p.m., just the perfect time that we all need a little bit of meditation in our lives. So you can check out those guided meditations on demand at any point. We've got a reader's advisory on there as well. And we did a number of mental health and wellness programs throughout the months of, I believe, September and October for Mental Health Awareness Month. So yeah, there's just a whole lot of stuff that has been going on for a long time. Now that we're all digital, you know, we feel like we're able to reach more people. But, you know, that's just a small snapshot of what we're doing with health and wellness.
And to add Steve, it's great to have those guided meditations. I actually, you know, checked a bunch of them out during the first portions of the quarantine. And I mean, especially now, I think with the holiday season, which is usually a tough time for people, and just with everything else going on, I think guided meditation, and just like you said, just that little piece of meditation on your Friday to kind of like close out the week is a great
we also provide yoga and all kinds of other things. I know our partnership with the soccer club had workout videos. You know, we're all stuck inside a lot more. We're all sitting a lot more. We're not going out as much, and so, you know, really getting up and shaking it, as they say, is really important. And again, the library is offering programs to help you think about staying healthy and safe. And you know, it's an exhausting time. So again, that meditation and that ability to just read or breathe is really important at this point.
A special sneak preview for everyone who chose to tune in today, which is, you know, you never know. Come on air with me and Roberta, and we'll give you a surprise. But so we have a new partnership with the Washington Wizards, which is really cool and has been ongoing this fall. They're partnering with us, with DC Public and Alexandria Library, for various things to promote literacy and also wellness for youth. So in addition to the Book of the Month program that we've been doing with them, we have and you heard it here first, a winter reading challenge coming up, which is more than just a reading challenge. It's actually going to be focused on wellness as well. And there's going to be some amazing prizes from the Wizards, some amazing opportunities to connect with folks from the organization. And we are so thrilled. I think we have officially cornered the market on sports team partnerships in the DC metro area. We were the first library in the country to have a partnership with a Major League Soccer team, which is kind of shocking that it took this long for MLS to participate in that way. But great partnership with DC United that's focused on wellness and also literacy, and of course the Washington Nationals, and many more partnerships like this to come in the future with other organizations that are close to home here in the county.
So, how do you engage with our strategic framework? Well, there is a way, because we have a fabulous digital strategy team that has created a microsite for our strategic framework where you can read everything that Nick has been showing you in depth, and you can also provide feedback. So, Steve, will you guide us through that?
Yep, absolutely. So if you go to our PGCMLS homepage, we have several badges and little features right on the homepage. And our first one that you'll see on the top left there is the PGCMLS Strategic Framework 21 through 24. So that is a microsite. It's entirely separate from our current website. It has a different theme and layout and visuals, aesthetics as well. So at the very bottom of that main page, once you get past our vision, mission, and values, you'll see well, first you'll be able to go up a little bit and click on our different areas of focus, and that's where Nick was kind of gearing us earlier, where you can find out different information as we were just discussing. But the very bottom of that page is just a very simple feedback response form, where as we mentioned, we collected a ton of feedback before and during the planning process, and now that it's finished, we still want to get your opinions about specific focus areas that you have in mind, how you think we can improve, what kinds of services and resources you would like to see, because this is a vision. This is a 3-year thing. It's not done. It's the framework is there, the bones are there. We have to fill it in, and the only way to do that is with the collaboration with our entire community and our entire staff. So this is not something that's just coming from thank you, Nick, that's coming from the top. It's not just what managers want us to display, but it's what we know that the community wants, because they've, I think, somewhere about over 8,000 responses or something when we were collecting stories back, a year ago. So we got a significant amount of people in the community who told us what they want and what they don't want. So we want to continue collecting that feedback, and it's straight here at the very bottom of our strategic framework microsite. So please encourage others to let us know what you need and what you want and what you don't want.
And I'm glad you mentioned stories, because we're going to be wanting stories of impact too. How has the library helped you in your personal life, or with your kids, or with your parents, or with your job? We would love to hear that feedback as well, so that we know that what we're doing is making an impact on the community and with you as an individual. So I think we're going to see if there's any questions from the audience for this panel. And Nick or Steve, I don't know if you're seeing any yet.
Miss Vivian asked if we have TAP classes, so I'm going to go look through our online resources and find out. I don't know off the top of my head, but one of the places that I'm going to look, which is kind of an unexpected place of glorious goodness in our collection, is Hoopla. And Hoopla is a second video streaming platform that we have along with Canopy. You can actually get both of those on your smart TVs. So if you want to see things on the big screen or watch our YouTube channel on your big screen, you can do that. But on Hoopla, there's a lot of wildly amazing and wonderful videos, ranging from baseball drills. Like if you are coaching Little League and you want your students to do some virtual practice, like, hey, we have baseball drill videos. So I'm suspecting that we have something around tap or dance for sure in terms of instructional content in Hoopla, also possibly in Artistworks. And then even if we don't have it directly, we'll know where to find some out there. So we'll definitely get that to you, Miss Vivian.
Yeah, and Miss Vivian, if you do start tapping, we want to see that.
Yes, you're gonna invite you to the talent show. That'll be
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I would like to ask all the members on this panel, just to reflect on your excitement, because I know you're all excited about what the next 4 years in the strategic framework means to you and your work and the community.
I'm super excited. I'm from here. I'm from Prince George's County. I'm a PG kid. So me being able to actively take a part in benefiting and building my community, I'm just super excited about that. So, anything I'm doing, whether it's workforce development, creating programming, just being able to give a part of myself to my community is paramount to me. So that's probably one of the most important things to me.
So much of what you hear in business and organizations is that there's a silo approach to working. And since I have been in with the system 2 years ago, I started right after Roberta. The only, I was just hearing that the culture changed, and I was hearing that we're working more closely together than we ever have, and that's just being kind of amplified with what Zach and Yasin and Spencer have been talking about here today. So I'm just excited. I didn't see what it was like in the past, but I'm excited to see it continue to change and evolve and be really a system of the people, by the people, for the community. We are not here for ourselves. We're here for you all. And our staff, has to have the decisions behind what and why we do things. And it's apparent that that's happening right now. So thanks, Roberta, and thanks everybody else for, being those voices for our system.
I'd like to kind of piggyback off what Zach and Steve said. I was here under the old administration, and while we did do a good job, I think we're doing a much, much better job now. Just my opinion of my coworkers and my management. Everyone seems to be working together now, despite COVID, better than we have in the past. Also, I'm from PG. I grew up in Accokeek when Accokeek was pretty much a small spot on the map in southern PG County, and I've seen it grow. So, seeing things that affect the community for the better, seeing areas get the attention that they deserve, it really makes me happy.
Yay. I have a tangent to throw out, so I'll save it till after Yasin. I won't derail us yet.
Yeah, just to piggyback pretty much from everybody, because it is exciting for me, just moving forward in the future. Realizing just, I think Steve said it was 8,000 people feedbacks from
Something
just,
like that. Yeah.
sometimes it's like, you work at the branch and you don't know the impact that you have to your community until things like you do, frameworks like this, you do strategic planning like this, and you hear feedback from customers and you realize how important the library is. And you think about it, you're like, wow, you go to different branches and you see different people, different faces. So I'm excited. I'm ready for the next adventure and just, helping people out. And hopefully we could converse with customers again and help customers, like how we used to. So I'm very excited for the future.
In a
Sorry,
weird,
I'm having a moment.
in a weird way. I'm sorry, Roberta.
I was just, this is why the library is so important, because of the staff. And it's not just the 5 people joining me today. It's our entire staff who care about this community, who want all of you to succeed and be your best and fulfill your dreams. And it's why we do what we do. And it's not often easy, especially under the current circumstances, but we don't give up and we work together because we know you need us and we need you. So thank you all for your heartfelt message, and I'll get myself together here.
So for me, and I know it's the same from hearing from everyone else, the amount of passion that we have for this work is so specific to the mission of the public library. And we are just very fortunate to live in a thriving, amazing community that is made up of the best of what our nation has to offer, really. And there is no institution in this country like the public library. I used to work in nonprofits. I used to work in the federal government. I was in the military. Been in a lot of weird, random places. But none of those organizations are quite the same in the way that we serve people. We're about doing whatever it takes to support our neighbors with anything. Like, there's no one else with that mission. Elected officials have that somewhat, but it's a little different in scope. And we literally live and breathe to break down barriers to access. We're oftentimes not entirely successful with that because it is an uphill battle. But just knowing that that's the kind of the gut behind everything that we do, just I think is a very important part of recognizing all the amazing work that our colleagues do here, but also a reason why our libraries are the most trusted institutions in anywhere. And that's really special. And that's something that we take very seriously in terms of the resources that we offer, the vetting that we do. We are humble, and we know that we do not have all the answers. We know where to find answers, and we know where to direct you. And literally, how cool is it that, like, I was just sitting here thinking about movies and silly lines, and like, how in movies they say, "I've got a guy" or something like that, and mob talk and such.
I know.
Literally, everyone has a
like,
guy. The library is everyone's guy. We are here to answer and help folks out in any way that you could possibly need, including, call us up and say, "Where's cool to go hang out while we're doing COVID and have to socially distant outdoors?" Like, okay, we'll connect you with these resources from Visit Maryland, Visit Prince George's, Experience Prince George's. There is no question that we would shirk away from answering. But anywho, with all that said, the library cannot be strong without the support of the community. And every year we have a county budget that we request. We have a state budget that requests, and we also have grants and other opportunities. So we really count on the community as a whole coming together to amplify the voices that you're hearing here in terms of making sure that everyone knows how important the library's work is in the community. And the one thing that we haven't really covered today that is really special, just to plant a seed for the next time we get together on January 25th at 7 p.m. We're not going to make all of you come to that one, but we'll have some other folks, is that the library increases the capacity of the county government as a whole. And that's something that's really special. We've seen that during COVID right now. One of our favorite partners is the Human Relations Commission. Their purpose is to teach people and to investigate civil rights issues and human rights abuses. And we have been working so closely with them that we're basically doing all of their programming on a joint basis. And we're giving our technical expertise at no additional cost. Like, we're increasing their capacity. They're giving us more programming that's really important. And we're doing that with literally every single agency that is in the county, from like the aging Office on Aging to EPG to the county council. We're working with council member Glaros on a distribution in a couple of weeks now. And this is what we do day in and day out. And there are 300 something people in this community who are from the community making this magic happen on a daily basis. And we do it selflessly because we believe in the mission and all of you. And we appreciate the charge that the community gives us in kind of taking care of these resources and getting them out to folks.
I couldn't have said it better. And also, we want to also thank you for, we had Giving Tuesday recently, and our PGCMLS Foundation is another way that you can give. And we have had really lovely, the last 5 days, you have been very generous to us, and we thank you for that. And always welcome any contribution, large or small, because it all makes a difference to what we can provide for the community. So thank you for that.
Perfect example, just to continue tooting the horn of the library, which is my job. We have a really cool event called Operation Warm happening on Saturday, December 12th. And this is an example of the strategic framework in action, right? Even when we were developing the framework, we were putting into motion, okay, how do we apply this, right? And it's not something like we need to go read a textbook, but we start to embody the goals here. So last year we had an event with an organization called Operation Warm, where we were able to give out free coats and books to kids from age 2 to 18. We served over 180 children with that. It went so well. We reached so many families. Our team was amazing at executing it, that not only did Operation Warm come to us with more coats this year, but our foundation was willing to support this as well. And as a result, we've been able to plan to give out over 700 coats next Saturday, along with books across the county. And we know that we will never satisfy the entire need, but we see the effect in 11 months even of this strategic framework in action of these are the values that we bring to doing something. And it's not enough to just do it once and move on from it or just replicate it. We're always looking at how do we make this better? How do we reach more people? And how do we bring more people under the tent to help us make this happen? Because that's the sustainability piece that I know Zach was mentioning earlier. We can't do anything alone, and we'll be more effective when we do it as a team with the broader community.
And I just want to close before we show our video in saying that Nick, Steve, Spencer, Zach, and Yasin have represented our staff well. They are definite emerging leaders. And I just wanted to thank you all for being part of the strategic framework team and for continuing your good work and representing all our passionate staff in such a lovely way. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Roberta. We're going to close out with any parting words from everyone else before we do our closing video thing? Thanks, y'all. This is delightful. We should do it again.
It was fun, yeah.
Safe.
Thanks, everybody.
Don't forget to use curbside service. We have mobile printing, 3D printing, activity kits, book bundles. You can say, hey, librarian or library staff member, I want 15 books about, I don't know,
dinosaurs,
vampires, whatever the topic, we'll help you out. So we've got a little delightful video here from our colleague Hawa at the Glen Arden branch. And I know Nestor from the communication outreach team helped make this possible. So we'll leave you with this, and we hope you have a safe and healthy weekend ahead. And we'll look forward to seeing you sometime soon. Thanks, everyone.
This is the Curbside Fairy.
The Curbside Fairy can help you pick up books from the library. But first, this is what your parent or guardian will need to do.
Place a hold of a book or an item online. Wait for an email notification that your hold is ready to pick up. Then, make a curbside appointment.
The Curbside Fairy checks for curbside appointments every day.
Looks like the Curbside Fairy has an appointment today.
Books, check. Eco-friendly bag, check. Bookmark, check.
It's showtime! The Curbside Fairy wants to keep everyone safe, so she makes sure she has her mask and checks to make sure everyone is wearing a mask before she approaches. Make sure your trunk is open.
The Curbside Fairy cannot take your return books, but she knows where you can put them. The book drop.
The Curbside Fairy is off to help someone else in need of library materials.
Curbside Fairy has another appointment. How exciting! Mobile printing is available at participating libraries. When walking up, please remember to give the Curbside Fairy space to bring your items to you.
Another satisfied customer. Thank you, Curbside Fairy.